Yo, what's going on guys, Impulse here, welcoming you back to another Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. Today I'm going to be battling Alex, aka Red, in somewhat of a standard battle. As for teams, you'll see that I'm rocking Tapu Koko, Marowak, Clefable, Nilgaleo, Starmie and Skarmory. And Alex has got Salazzle, Starmie, Tauros, Garchomp, Primarina and what is that guy called again? Gigalith, that's the one. Remember, if you want a chance to be featured in a battle, go ahead and drop your FC and your time zone etc. down in the comment section below. And also go ahead and follow me over on Twitter and my PokeTubers community, all linked down in the description. So let's get into it. So I am challenged by Alex. Alex is going to lead with his Salazzle. And I am going to lead with Tapu Koko. I am not max speed, so I don't outspeed here, and I don't want to take the chance that he thinks I am not max speed. So I am going to make a hard switch, but so is he. Alex decides to hard switch into his Gigalith, Krypton, and he's going to set up that Sandstorm. So I make my switch and I go out into Nilgaleo. Man, that is just too hard to say. So I don't like this matchup, even though I've got a Sandstorm boost. I am going to switch on out and I go into Skarmory. My opponent goes for the Earthquake and we're going to evade that nicely. So now I'm going to take this time to set up my hazards. I'm going to set up that spikes and I'm not going to mess around. He also takes this opportunity to set up his stealth rocks. So we're trading off hazards at this point, and that's fine with me. So Alex decides to go for a Stone Edge, probably testing the waters to see what kind of damage it can do, and I go for a Whirlwind, making a prediction of his switch. We bring out his Garchomp, and that's good for us because Garchomp can't really do anything to a Skarmory. It is a proven fact. So I'm not scared of what this Garchomp wants to try and do. I'm assuming it's not running Fire Blast. So I stay in. He goes for the Fire Fang, which is going to do a decent amount of damage, but not anywhere near enough to threaten me, as I get my Lex Layer of Spikes up. Now with the electric terrain fading off the field, I've got no worries about anything else. He stays in, he goes for a Fire Fang, and that is absolutely fine with me. He doesn't get the flinch, he doesn't get the burn, and I'm able to set up a Roost, get all that lost HP back up, and yeah, that's a pretty good situation for me. He's not really in a bad situation, but these hazards are starting to rack up, and eventually they're going to start putting in work if he doesn't deal with them soon. So he's going to withdraw his Garchomp and he goes out into Starline. Obviously Starmie can rapid spin, and I didn't really want that to happen. I made the prediction and I go for the Whirlwind, figuring I've got to keep this Starmie out at all costs. Thankfully the Garchomp comes back in, and that means it's going to take some damage and it's going to burn another turn of the Sandstorm. I'm able to recover, and I've just got to keep Alex on the back foot of things now. So Alex goes for another Fire Fang, figuring he's going to get Whirlwinded away and he's got nothing better to do. That is the case. I do go for the Whirlwind. I want to just get some damage going on his guys coming in and out, and Tauros comes in. Tauros is going to take some spikes damage. That's all good for me, and the Sandstorm unfortunately is going to subside now. My HP is looking at a decent amount, and I know that Tauros can't touch me in the slightest. It's got speed, but unless it gets a ton of flinches, it's not really going to be able to do anything. So he goes for his Rock Slide. He gets some nice damage off on me, a little more than I thought it would do, but not a problem. I'm going to get up my Roost, get all that HP back up, a little bit more from leftovers, and now I'm feeling good. So Alex is going to make a withdraw. He's figuring Tauros isn't going to do anything and he wants to set up his Sandstorm once more. So that's what he does. He goes out into Krypton, takes some massive damage from the spikes, and he's going to start whipping up a Sandstorm. I decide to go for a little damage this turn instead of setting up the spikes. Not sure why I did it, can't remember now, or a while ago, but we get some pointless damage off and that's that. So figuring it's a good turn to get the last turn of spikes up, that's what I'm going to do. I set up and my opponent goes for his Stone Edge. We know that that's not going to do too much to us and now we're all good. So I've got my 3 layers of spikes set up and I feel pretty confident. Alex is going to go out for a switch into his Starline. As it comes in, it's going to take a lot of damage from spikes. Obviously with nothing better to do, I go for the Whirlwind and thankfully Starmie gets sent away once more. Krypton's going to come back in, take a 25% amount of damage to its face from the spikes, and we're going to be in a nice position. Even though this match is a 6-6 at this point, I'm completely in control just with Skarmory alone. He goes for his Stone Edge, does some nice damage, and we're going to Whirlwind him out again. Salazzle comes in and takes a nice 25%, but it's kind of ruining the party. We know that this thing can have Flamethrower, it probably has, and that means that I'm not really going to be able to stay in. So Skarmory retreats for now, knowing that it's been doing an amazing job. Thankfully we've got a Sandstorm boost and we resist both of its stabs, so I'm going to go out into this guy, which I just don't even want to try pronouncing. He actually goes for a Taunt, which means that we can't set up our Stealth Rocks now, which would have been nice, but it doesn't stop us from using our remaining moves. So after taking a little damage, we're looking in a good position. He decides he wants to switch out, he can't really stay in. He brings out Primarina. That's fine by me. He's going to take a nice chunk of damage from entry hazards, and then we're going to go for our Power Gem. It's going to do some nice damage. On top of that, we're faster, and it's also taking damage from the Sandstorm, so it's not too bad. He reveals that he has got leftovers, so I've got no fear of a choice item, and of course I have got the Poison Stab, which is fine. He decides that he wants to switch out. He goes back out into Garchomp, takes another chunk of damage from the spikes, and I'm going to go for the Sludge Wave that I just previously stated. Even though it's resisted, it does a nice chunk of damage. Garchomp's not exactly specially defensive, especially since he's on a aggressive set. The taunt wears off, and I don't think I want to stay in, considering how weak my defense is and how high Garchomp's attack is. So I'm going to go out into Skarmory. I'm going to take a little bit of entry hazards myself, but that's fine. He makes a nice prediction and he goes for his fire move. Unfortunately, that prediction is going to cost Skarmory his life. Not sure why he just didn't attack. I'm not really sure what Alex was thinking, but he goes out into his Starmie. I'm fishing for a 6-0 at this point, so I'm going to retreat Skarmory out. And I'm going to go into my own Starmie, which was the worst thing I have ever seen. I was so scared now. If he goes for a Rapid Spin, I can't stop it, it'll get rid of the entry hazards. So I have to go into Marowak, making the prediction of Rapid Spin. Of course, he has got the Water type move, but if he KOs me, that's fine. He actually goes for his Thunderbolt. Lightning Rob's going to absorb that, and then he switches out, which reveals that is potentially choice items. Of course, we've got nothing to guarantee that right now, so it's not something that I was thinking about at the time. Alex makes a switch out into Tauros, and I'm going to go for the Boomerang. Boomerang's going to do a ton of damage, and it's going to easily be able to KO Tauros. So Tauros is going to take an infinite nap, and we're still looking in a great position. He brings out his Garchomp, I guess not figuring it'd take it out, but it does because the entry hazards are monstrous. And of course, Starline is going to come back in, take a massive chunk of damage, and at this point I had an opportunity to either switch out or stay in. I decide to stay in case he has got rapid spin because I figured that they're putting in too much work, but he just goes for the attack. Skull's gonna take us out, and that is gonna trigger us to bring in Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko is gonna come in, he takes some entry hazards and sets up his terrain. Starmie is naturally faster than me anyway, so just from him going before me didn't really show anything. After the match, Alex said that he was actually choice scarfed, so I guess I foddered off my Marowak as a safe play. But of course I just wanted to make sure that the spike stuck around, so it's nothing I regret. We're going to easily be able to take out Starmie as he brings in Krypton. Krypton's going to come in to take more spike damage. On top of that, he's going to set up Sandstorm once again. It doesn't really bother me too much, I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt. I'm going to take this thing out. Of course it's boosted by the terrain, it's got stab and it's got life orb. So it was easily going to take it out. Unfortunately that life orb plus the sand is going to start racking up and he's going to bring in his Salazzle. Salazzle outspeeds me as we've already stated, so there's not much I can do. I decide to stay in since the rocks would kill me on entry anyway and I've got nothing to fodder it off against. So he goes for his poison type move and he takes me out. Thankfully his own Sandstorm's going to chip away at him there. And now I'm going to bring this guy out. So he goes for his flamethrower, but I've got a resistance plus a sandstorm boost, so that's going to do absolutely nothing. And on top of that, we're going to just power gem, take out Salazzle without an issue. So the match is really winding down now, and I get my beast boost. Gives me a +1 special attack, and leftovers are going to do their job. His last Pokemon is Primarina, and unfortunately that's not going to be able to do anything. So we're just going to clean up shop and that is going to be the game. So GG Alex. Not too shabby. Suggest that you bring a defogger or a rapid spinner in future to clear those hazards, because it is something that is very important in games. Anyway guys, I'm going to get out of here, so why don't you consider meteor mashing that like, share and subscribe buttons, and I will see you guys in the next one. Laters.